Right, let's talk the big one, deposits. This is where I see the most confusion and frankly the most myths floating around that can actually cost you years of waiting unnecessarily. Today we're going to bust some serious misconceptions about deposits in Australia. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to get into your first home. Trust me, some of this might surprise you. First things first, let's talk about what deposits actually are in the Australian context. Your deposit is your upfront contribution towards buying your home. It directly affects everything from your loan approval to your ongoing costs. But here's what most people don't realise. The deposit game has changed dramatically in recent years, and the old rules your parents might tell you about simply don't apply anymore. Let's start with the basics. In Australia, the minimum deposit you can put down is typically 5% of the purchase price. Minimum 5% deposit, but, and this is important, if you put down less than 20%, you'll generally need to pay lender's mortgage insurance. This protects the bank if you can't make your repayments, and it can cost anywhere from a couple of thousand to 20,000 or more. However, remember the first home loan deposit scheme we talked about earlier? That's where you can put down just 5% without paying LMI at all. It's a game changer for eligible first home buyers. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the 20% deposit myth. You do not need 20% to buy a home in Australia. Yes, having 20% means you avoid LMI, and yes, you might get slightly better interest rates, but waiting for 20% can actually cost you more in the long run. Here's why. While you're saving that extra 10 to 15% deposit, property prices are typically rising faster than you can save. In many Australian markets, waiting 2 extra years to save a bigger deposit means paying $50,000, $100,000 or more for that same property. So real example, a $600,000 property today with 5% down, you might end up paying $15,000 in LMI. Total upfront cost is $45,000. But if property prices rise just 5% per year while you save that 20%, that same property costs $662,000 in 2 years. Your 20% deposit is now $132,000. That's $87,000 more than your original 5% plus LMI. And the maths is pretty clear. In most cases, buying sooner with a smaller deposit beats waiting for a larger one. So where can your deposit actually come from? Australian lenders accept deposits from several sources. Genuine savings is the money you've saved over time. Typically 3 to 6 months in your account. Lenders love seeing genuine savings. It shows you can manage your money responsibility. First Home Super Saver Scheme. We covered this in detail last lesson, and it's often your fastest way. Family gifts can help gift you money for a deposit, but there are rules. It must be a genuine gift, not a loan. We'll need a stat dec confirming this. Equity from other properties if you already own an investment property or buying with someone who owns a property. Non-genuine savings like inheritance, work bonuses, tax refunds, those are typically more strict for using them. So what lenders really look for? Here's the inside scoop on what lenders are actually checking when they assess your deposit. Every dollar needs to be explained. If you suddenly have $50,000 in your account that wasn't there 3 months ago, they want to know where it came from. They're looking for a pattern of regular savings, not just money that appeared overnight. This shows you can manage ongoing mortgage repayments. Avoid moving money between accounts in the months before applying. It just creates more paperwork and questions. If family is helping, we need proper documentation, stat decs, bank statements showing the funds leaving their account, and proof it's a gift, not a loan. So let me share some strategies I use with clients to maximize their deposit potential. Some clients use an offset linked to a parent's mortgage to build savings faster while reducing their parents' interest payments. The guarantor options. Family members can go guarantor for part of their loan, potentially eliminating the need for LMI. The regional play. Some first home buyer grants are higher in regional areas, effectively boosting your deposit. New build advantage. First homeowner grants typically apply to new builds, and some developers often deposit assistance schemes. Common mistakes. Let me warn you about the mistakes I see regularly. Mistake number one, keeping everything in a low interest savings account. Your deposit money should be working for you. High interest savings accounts or the FHSS can grow your deposit faster. Mistake number two, not factoring in other costs. Your deposit isn't your only upfront costs. Stamp duty, legal fees, building inspections, moving costs can add 10,000 with your purchase. Mistake number three, waiting for the perfect amount. I meet clients who want exactly 20% plus cost save before they'll consider buying. Meanwhile, they're paying rent, watching house prices rise. Mistake number four, not getting pre-approval. Know exactly what your deposit you need before you start house hunting. Nothing's worse than finding your dream home to discover you need $10,000 more. So here's my practical advice. Aim for the minimum deposit that gets you into a home you'll be happy in for at least 5 to 7 years. Then use the equity growth and the mortgage pay down to improve your position over time. Remember, your first home doesn't have to be your forever home. Many successful property owners start with a modest first home, then use equity to upgrade later. So what should you do right now? Calculate your target, work out the minimum deposit for your price range, choose your strategy, FHSS, high interest savings or family assistance, get organized, consolidate accounts, start building that savings history and get pre-approved. Know exactly where you stand before you start shopping. Look, deposit requirements can seem overwhelming, but with the right strategy, the current government assistance programs, most people can get into their first home sooner than they think. The key is having a plan that's tailored to your specific situation. Every client I work with has different circumstances, and what works for your mate might not be optimal for you. In our next lesson, we're going to be diving into the different types of lenders available in Australia. Banks, credit unions, non-bank lenders, they all have different strengths and weaknesses, and choosing the right one can save you thousands over the life of your loan. Plus, I'll share some insights about the lenders are more flexible with different types of borrowers. So remember, your deposit is just the entry ticket to homeownership. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Sometimes getting started with a smaller deposit is better than waiting years for a larger one. Get in touch if you want to run the numbers on your specific situation. I've got calculators, strategies that can show you exactly what's possible with your current circumstances. I'll see you in the next lesson.